Moving on to one of the worst teams in the league. Worst team in the league. It's the Charlotte Hornets.
Yeah,
Lost Kemba.
should be a short one.
Should be a short one. Who are they? Who plays for the Charlotte Hornets? Terry Rozier. That's who. And that's probably your best player. Well, Devontae Graham proved that he's pretty good last season.
For some reason, I was on the Charlotte Hornets subreddit the other day. I don't know why. I was just scouring. And they all want to trade Rozier.
I mean, yeah.
And they came up with a proposal. It was Rozier for Horford and our first-round pick. Why would they want to do that? I would do it.
Yeah. I was going to say, from a Philly perspective, go on then.
It's a win.
Go on then.
Yeah, shorter contract. And he's a good backup point guard.
Yeah. A backup point guard has always been something that Philly has needed. Like, you look at Raul Neto, TJ McConnell, have been the players for the past few years. And then, like, getting Terry Rozier and getting rid of Horford, like, that sounds like a good idea, but I don't understand why the Hornets would want that.
Yeah, I can't see it from their perspective. Obviously, they're a rebuilding team. I think that's very easy to see.
I've only ever known the Charlotte Hornets as a rebuilding team.
Well, to be fair, with Kemba, they were a good. They were good. Slightly below average. They were for the 8th seed.
They were a team.
they were a team.
What you could say is they were in the NBA.
Yeah, and that's more than what you can say for like a G League team.
Exactly. Yeah.
Exactly. So
I'd like to see a game though between the best G League team and the Hornets.
But so they got the 3rd pick in the draft. Now this is a good opportunity for him to really like kickstart their rebuild. But unfortunately, he's not like a star-studded draft. So do they go for a good role player, or do they go for a player who's going to bring in revenue? Because that's what they need. They need people to come in and watch their games because nobody watches the Hornets, apart from like a very small section of people from Charlotte.
Yeah, I even think if they got LaMelo, nobody would go and watch. I can just see LaMelo playing in an empty stadium and LeVar Ball just courtside, just kicking the floor.
Well, like over here, like in the UK, like when like the Warriors were on TV, I'm sure like, normal people will come in just to watch it, or like the Heat or Philadelphia. Maybe I'm being biased, but yeah. But like when you see the Hornets on TV, no one's thinking, "Oh, let me turn that on to go watch Devontae Graham." But like, if they get LaMelo, maybe some of his fans in Lithuania would want to watch a Hornets game.
There you go.
Maybe they got to reach out to the Lithuanian people.
Yeah, that's the niche they need. That's the niche they need. And if any Lithuanians want to watch this as well, you're more than welcome. I will learn words in Lithuanian. Yeah, who wants to hear that? Did you say you won't?
I won't.
One of us is committed. One of us is committed.
Yeah. Well.
But yeah, well, I was saying their team's awful, but they do have like Bridges in Washington and
Yeah.
How much potential has Graham got?
A sick man.
Kobe.
But no, Miles Bridges is a solid piece. He's a good player. They should have taken SJ above him. And then last year, PJ Washington, another solid player. There's no reason why he couldn't be a John Collins. But they could have had better players. Like a Matisse Thybulle or Brandon Clark.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, you can look at most teams and think, well, they could have picked somebody a bit better.
Wait, was Tyler Herro one pick after him?
Yeah, you're always going to get situations like that, like you said about the 13th pick, about like bringing amazing shooting guards most of the time. Like there's 12 teams ahead of there thinking we probably could have taken him with hindsight, but I don't think PJ Washington's a bad player, like you said. John Collins type ceiling. I quite like him. Quite a nice player. Miles Bridges. It's pretty good as well. Like,
yeah, they're not as bad as we're making them out. I think it's just because they're from Charlotte. I think that's the main reason.
Nobody cares. Whereas the Pacers were irrelevantly relevant, the Hornets are just irrelevant.
Yeah, like I saw on the subreddit, I saw Hornets fans saying they want to make moves to eventually become a championship contender. I mean, they shouldn't have the expectations of being a good team. That's kind of mean, but maybe they like vision of a team to be should be the Pacers. A very small market, not many fans, but they're a good team. I think that's who the Hornets should try and be like. It's not very exciting, but at least you're winning some games.
See, I'm going to go back to 2K like I often do. When you often sim through a couple of my league seasons, Hornets usually become a good team in the East because they always trade for Edwards, and he always turns into like a Dwayne Wade type player, where in reality, probably isn't going to turn into Dwayne Wade.
But Edwards, he's kind of like the perfect type of player for Charlotte because he's going to go in there and average 20 points per game.
Yeah, he's definitely who they should pick.
It's going to be empty stats. Like, he's not going to defend. He's not going to pass. He's going to shoot a lot of bad shots. But he could make them kind of relevant. Like, who would you compare that to? Maybe Zach LaVine on the Bulls, putting up empty stats, but people still recognize him as like a fringe all-star player.
I love him. Love Zach LaVine. I won't let anybody say anything bad about him. He's a great player. You're right. Billy Donovan turned him into a goat. Yeah, they should definitely take Edwards. I think it's their best option.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Enjoy not making the playoffs next season, Charlotte. And I don't know, make some trades. Mix it up a bit. Go crazy.
Yeah, be exciting.
Go crazy. Yeah, just like when you're
just do something to make people talk about you.
When you're a team like that, like what risk is it just to go crazy and like go trade Rozier, trade I was going to Bismack Biyombo. I don't know why Biyombo was the second player that came to mind.
What about giving up that third pick, maybe Rozier, for a disgruntled point guard who recently said he wants to leave his team? Maybe a Russell Westbrook?
No, send Russ to the Knicks. Send Russ to the Knicks. I'm a Russell Westbrook lover, and I want to see him in the Knicks.
Russ will automatically become the best player in your team's history. So, like, why not just take that chance? Like, have Russ and surround him with shooters, and that might be good enough to make the 8th seed in the Eastern Conference.
Well, yeah, if you got Russ putting up 30, 10, and 10 every game, which he's very likely to do if he goes to one of these teams like the Knicks or the Hornets or just a team like that where he's rumored to be wanting to go to, you're like, I mean, I know OKC, we had Oladipo, Sabonis, Dre, and Adams teamed with him, but still, again, that's not a great team. But and again, that was an injured Oladipo and a very raw Sabonis, and he propelled us into like the 5th, 6th seed, 4th seed. I think it was the 4th seed that year. Again, we got knocked out in the first round, but Hornets, that's brilliant. Imagine getting knocked out first round, Charlotte. Imagine that.
Yeah, and like if you finish like with the first seed, like the Bucks or like the Raptors or the Sixers, the last thing you want to do is like, oh, first I'm going to play against Russ. I know he likes to choke in the playoffs. But, I would much rather play against Terry Rozier than Russ.
It's draining. You think if you're a team like in the first seed, you're expected to try and get into the finals. That's what your goal is. And then you come up in the first round, and even if you sweep them, that's 4 games of chasing Russell Westbrook, which is, you couldn't pay me enough. Actually, I'd love to do it.
I would do.
I would love to do it. You would ruin me. You'd drop 60 every night.
And the rest.
No, I'm cute. I'm holding to 60. He'll miss loads of shots. He'll shoot 50, miss 50. Miss 50%. But yeah, throw everything at Russell Westbrook. That is definitely my advice. Even though I want Russ to go to the Knicks, looking from Hornets' perspective, throw everything at him.
Yeah.
Do you think the Houston will accept Rozier in the 3rd pick?
Well, Russ's trade value is like so low. Like,
is it?
Yeah, like who wants a washed-up point guard who has no shot making ability? He's old. On like how much? Like 40 mil per year, and his game is heavily reliant on athleticism. His athleticism I can't even say the word. His ability to jump and run fast is going to go away in like 2 years. So, like, is it even worth like giving up future assets for someone like that? For the Hornets, yes, but if you're like the Heat, nah, you cannot trade like Hero and a future pick for Russ.
He's not going to Miami. He'll go to Miami.
Yeah, no.
But yeah, the Knicks and the Hornets should throw everything they've got for Russ.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
and honestly, Hornets, you want people to watch your games. I will probably watch most of your games if Russ goes there. You never know. I might even buy a jersey. It might happen. I'm a massive Russ fanboy, and I've only hated him this season because he plays for Houston, who's like the team I hate like the most in the league. So yeah, Hornets, throw everything at Westbrook and enjoy the 8th seed or the 15th seed. Somewhere between there. It's a scale. It's like it's a scale of if they get Russ or if they don't get Russ. So get Russ.
I think there's so many teams in that scale as well in the Eastern Conference.
What if they get Russ or if they don't get Russ?
Nah, like from the 8th seed down to the 15th. You never know where anyone's going to finish.
Yeah, it just takes like one player to have a breakout season.
Or just have a good run of games, like over like a 15-game period, I have like 10 wins, and I might be able to boost you up in 8th seed.
Yeah. Good luck, Charlotte. Try and be relevant. Sign Russ.